Good day, this is Erica Morano and together with my partner, Vanessa Olila, we will be presenting our research entitled The Effectiveness of Politeness Strategies Among Teachers and Sped Students of Valencia National High School. People live together in a community and follow norms where politeness is a way to minimize conflict and also in order to establish good connections in social interactions. In terms of communication, language will be referred to as a natural asset in different interaction. But as the world progresses, younger generations are being influenced and exposed to negative media behaviors which the researchers believe students have followed. School being considered as the students' and teachers' second home find rudeness and impoliteness the major concerns in the classroom setting. According to BuzzFeed of 2008, impoliteness and rudeness constitutes the communication of intentionally conflictive verbal face-threatening acts which are purposefully delivered with deliberate aggression or in some way to heighten the face damage inflicted, and this goes down to damaging social identity of target persons and a lowering of their power or status. Insults, reproaches, and sarcasm are some of the impolite behaviors that cause social harm. Hence, such behaviors mainly cause discomforts in a classroom conversation and conflict between teachers and students, which deteriorate the effectiveness of teaching learning process and the student-teacher relationship in the long run if not being addressed. According to Fortnisari et al. Of 2020, the use of politeness techniques is crucial in assisting students in inclusive classes, in understanding and accepting one another as well as in raising their own self-esteem, and this is true especially on guiding and assessing special education students. Thus, it is important to study the politeness strategy and its implications in order to have a more productive and effective classroom interaction. The purpose of this research is to examine the impact of politeness strategies used by SPED students and SPED teachers in their interactions in the classroom. Furthermore, the researchers want to investigate the impact of politeness methods in the teaching and learning process. The primary objective of the study is to determine the different politeness strategies used by teachers in teaching and learning SPED students in a classroom. This study aims to widen the knowledge and add the existing data of the related studies in connection with the proposed study.
So the objectives of the study. First, to determine the most dominant politeness strategies used by teachers and SPED students in a classroom conversation prior to the implementation of politeness strategies by researchers. Second, to know the politeness strategies that are effective for teachers and SPED students in a classroom conversation. And three, to examine the behavioral differences from the previous SPED class without the implementation of politeness strategies by the researchers compared to the latest SPED class observation, which utilizes politeness strategies.
The end of the study, the result could contribute and will be beneficial to SPED teachers, SPED students, and future researchers. For the teachers, this will help expand their body of knowledge in linguistics as it will give additional information about the effectiveness of politeness theory, especially in SPED classroom. The SPED students or the direct recipients of the output of this research are the students with special needs. Any improvement of classroom management techniques can pave the way of producing better learning and discipline for the SPED students. As the parents enroll their children in this institution, they come with self-assurance that their children are given more education that would make them a functional individual in the society. And for the future researchers, this research will be a useful reference for the researchers who would plan to make any related study precisely the effectiveness of politeness strategies among teachers and SPED students.
This study aims to determine the different politeness strategies used by teachers in teaching and learning SPED students in a classroom. Specifically, this sought to answer the following questions. First, what is the most dominant politeness strategy used by teachers and SPED students in a classroom conversation prior to the implementation of politeness strategies by the researchers? Second, what politeness strategies are effective for teachers and SPED students in a classroom conversation? And third, what are some students' behavioral differences in the previous SPED class without the implementation of politeness strategies by the researchers compared to the latest SPED class observation, which utilizes politeness strategies?
These studies focus on the different politeness strategies that are used by the teachers in a SPED classroom. Descriptive research design is used to obtain information concerning the current status of phenomena and to observe and describe the behavior of the subject without influencing it in any way. This research will also use the qualitative research design, and the observation will take place at Valencia National High School.
This part represents literature and studies used in the conceptualization of the study. The study of the literature review is organized according to the following variables: politeness strategies, which are the borrowed on record, positive politeness, negative politeness, and off record. Now, also politeness strategies in a SPED classroom and cognitive learning theory. Humans are social beings who spend their lives with our other humans. As members of the society, people engage in ongoing social interaction that includes all forms of communication. Now, in terms of social and linguistic aspects, research on the politeness strategies has increased significantly over the last 3 decades. Brown and Levinson devised a theory to explain phenomena relating to the politeness of verbal and nonverbal communication. There are 4 types of positive politeness strategies proposed by Brown and Levinson 1987. They are bald on record, positive politeness, negative politeness, and off record. Now, number 1, bald on record. It is a strategy hardly ever attempt to mitigate the threat to the addresses face. According to Brown and Levinson, a bald on record strategy is a direct way of saying things in a direct, clear, unambiguous, and concise manner without any minimization to the imposition. Great urgency, speaking as if great efficiency is required, being task-oriented, little or no desire to maintain someone's face, alerting, welcomes, offers, and requests are examples of bald on record strategies. Next, positive politeness. It is typically observed in groups or friends or among people who know each other fairly well. According to Brown and Levinson, positive politeness strategy attempts to attend to the hearer's interests, wants, and goods. Positive politeness strategies include noticing, attending to the hearer, exaggerating, intensifying interest in the hearer, using an in-group identity marker, seeking agreement, avoiding disagreement, presupposing, rising, asserting common ground, joking, conveying that the speaker and the hearer are cooperators, asserting or presupposing speaker's knowledge of any concern for the hearer's wants, offering, promising, being optimistic, including both speaker and hearer. Now that's the positive politeness. Third, negative politeness. Brown and Levinson define negative politeness as the heart of respect. It is more specific and focused in nature. Negative politeness consists of being conventionally indirect, hedging, minimizing the imposition, giving deference, and apologizing. Now off to the last, which is off record. According to Brown and Levinson, 1987, the off-record communication employs indirect language and shields the speaker from the possibility of being imposed. In this case, the hearer must infer to determine what is intended. Furthermore, it implies that if the speaker wants to avoid the responsibility of negotiating FTAs, they can use the strategy. Off-record strategies include dropping hints, being vague, and being sarcastic or joking. Normawati et al. Study demonstrated that the use of politeness strategies is effective in the classroom. Their study examined classroom interactions between the teachers and students to determine how teachers use positive politeness strategies and the effect of positive politeness strategies on promoting effective interaction. And they were able to conclude that the politeness strategies used in the class resulted in effective interaction between the teacher and the students. Now, in Albert Bandura's social learning theory, it emphasizes the importance of observing, modeling, and imitating others to improve the school performance, emotional disorders, mental and physical health, career choice, and social political change. Now, for the methodology, this will discuss the research design, research locale, data gathering procedure, research procedure, and ethical considerations. Now, for the research design, the study will have a descriptive research design because it involves observation. Descriptive research and experimental design are used to obtain information concerning the current status of the phenomena to observe and describe the behavior of the subject without influencing it in any way. Now, for the research locale, this study will specifically focus on teacher and students' conversation and behavior in Sped classroom. The researchers will conduct the observation at Valencia National High School, Region 10 of the Philippine map, specifically in Lapu-Lapu Street, Poblacion, Valencia City, Bukidnon. In gathering data, the researchers will observe and take a video of one SPED class. In the first recording, the researchers will not be imparting politeness strategies to the class, whereas in the next class of the same section, the researchers will be imparting and utilizing politeness strategies. Now, the data will be analyzed in 3 steps. 1. Determine what politeness strategies are used by teachers and SPED students in classroom conversation prior to imparting some of the politeness strategies. 2. Compare the data and find out which politeness strategy is dominantly used and is effective for SPED class. And lastly, 3. Examine the behavioral differences between SPED class that utilize politeness strategies from the SPED class that did not utilize politeness strategies. Ethical considerations. Research participants will not be subjected to harm in any way or whatsoever, and their dignity will be the utmost priority. 2. Full consent is obtained from the participants prior to the study. And 3. The participants will remain anonymous and the data gathered will be confidential only to the researchers and the participants themselves.